Let's be real for a minute. What happens when you have to stop your weight loss medication? That's a question so many women ask, and it's the fear underneath the whole GLP-1 weight loss journey. I hear questions like, what if my insurance stops covering the medication? What if my compounding pharmacy closes? And what if I just can't get the medication anymore? Have you ever felt that panic when you miss a dose? You step on the scale the next morning and wonder, is this it? Is everything about to fall apart? And I know this fear personally. I've been off my GLP-1 medication for the past 6 months because of a major surgery. And during that time, I had every opportunity to backslide to all my old habits. But here's the truth. I didn't, and my weight regain was minimal. And that wasn't by luck. It was by leaning hard into my fresh framework and using the tools I teach every single day. Hey, it's Coach Kisha here, and I'm your certified holistic nutrition weight loss coach and a nurse practitioner. And welcome back to Weight Talk Thursdays, where we keep it heart-centered, hormone-friendly, and real-life approved. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on what it's really like when you come off or you have to stop your weight loss medication, and how to stay in control, and why I'm restarting my medication next week with a clear goal: losing 50 more pounds and setting or hitting a total weight loss of 200 pounds. Yes, 200 pounds. And I want to share with you what I've learned and will be learning along the way. But before I get started, I want you to drop in the comments your biggest fear or frustration about GLP-1 medication. Whether you're currently on the medicine or not, let me know. I love to hear your story and support you. Now, when I first stopped my medication for surgery, I was scared. I thought, here we go, a few weeks or months off my medication, and I'm going to undo all my progress. And I know I'm not alone in this feeling. I hear it all the time. I missed my doses and the cravings came roaring back. Or I'm off my medicine for 2 weeks and I'm terrified the scale is creeping up. You know, that fear is real because for so many of us, GLP-1 weight loss medication feels like the only thing standing between us and the high possibility of weight regain. But here's my story. I leaned into my habits and I leaned into my routines, and I used the same fresh start strategies I coach my clients on. And guess what? For the past 6 months, the bulk of my weight has stayed off. Not because it was easy and not because I didn't struggle, but because I had tools beyond the medication. And I see this with clients too. I worked with one woman who had stopped her medication for just 3 weeks while waiting for a refill. And she told me, her cravings hit like a freight train. But once she leaned back into her meal structure and evening wind down routines, she felt calmer and more in control. And that's what I want to show you today, how to build habits that carry you through, whether you're on the shot, off the shot, or somewhere in between. Why do women have so much weight regain when they stop GLP-1 medication? Let's break it down. Number 1, appetite signals return. The meds quiet our hunger by slowing digestion and regulating hormones. When we're off the medication, our natural appetite comes back online. And sometimes that signal is much louder than before. Think of your appetite like a volume dial. GLP-1s turn the volume down and the dial down, but stress, Hormones or poor sleep can crank it right back up even higher than before. Number 2, food noise creeps back in. All those habits and cravings you had before, they're still wired and embedded in your brain. And without a weight loss support system, these habits can easily take over and creep back in. Number 3, fear of regain creates sabotage. When we're scared of regaining weight, we sometimes panic. We start to restrict too hard, and we go the other way. We binge. And that fear can actually fuel the very cycle of self-sabotage that we're afraid of. But here's the key insight. The medication is just one tool. The habits you build, your food foundations, your mindset, your sleep, your stress management, those are your safety net. And that's what holds you steady when life throws you off track. And that's why when I was off my medication, I didn't spiral too much out of control, because the Fresh Start method gave me something stronger than a shot. It gave me weight management routines that carried me through. So let me show you how I did it and how my clients do it too, by walking you through the Fresh framework. Let's start with letter F. Food, freedom, and foundations. Even off medications, protein plus fiber plus healthy fat kept me grounded. And some of my go-to meals were eggs with spinach for breakfast, lean protein and roasted vegetables for dinner. And, these balanced meals kept my hunger stable and steady. A reflection here. What's one meal you can make this week with a solid protein, a fiber, and a healthy fat? Letter R, rewire your mindset. Instead of thinking, I'm off the meds, so I'm doomed, I told myself, this is my chance to prove I can do this with my habits alone. And a fresh tip here, journal one affirmation daily about your strength beyond the shot, or take a few minutes to meditate on your progress. Reflection, here's, what's a phrase you could repeat to yourself when the cravings, they feel real loud to you. Letter E, elevate your habits. Simple habits like a 10-minute walk after meals or planning tomorrow's lunch the night before, it kept me from sliding into old patterns. A fresh tip here, don't underestimate those small wins. They stack and they compound and add up to success. A reflection, if you only had time for one small healthy habit this week, what would it be? What would you choose? Letter S, simplify your environment. If food was in sight, I would think about it constantly. So I kept nourishing foods front and center and moved my triggering snacks and foods out of reach. A fresh tip here, you don't keep what tempts you most on the counter. It's an instant food noise amplifier. Letter H, honor your whole health. Sleep, stress reduction, and self-care days were everything during my recovery. The less stressed I was, the less I turned to food. And a fresh tip here, build a 10-minute nighttime routine that signals your body it's time to rest and reset. These 5 strategies carried me for 6 months without medication. And they'll carry you too, whether you're pausing your medication, coming off completely, or just worried about what to do next. And these are the exact tools inside my Fresh Start Holistic Weight Loss Program. Whether you're on the medicine, off the medicine or just starting, this program gives you the systems to make results last. And if you're a reader, my book, The Wait is Over, it's packed with these strategies and real stories, including many details of my own journey. You can grab the book or join the program at amplehealthandwellness.com or tap the links in the description. So here's what I want you to take away today. Coming off weight loss medication isn't the end of your journey. It's just another season. You are not powerless without the medicine or the shot. You have tools, you have strategies, and you have proof because I lived it. Now I'm excited to restart next week with a new goal, 50 more pounds. That will bring me to a total of 200 pounds lost. And I know it's possible because the foundation is already there. I want you to imagine this: walking into your kitchen and not panicking about food cravings, taking a pause and choosing with intention instead of fear, feeling strong about your choices on your weight loss journey, whether you're on or off the weight loss shot or medication. And that's what holistic weight loss is all about. And that's what my Fresh Start Holistic program can do for you. And that's what you deserve. Well, this has been Coach Kisha with Weight Talk Thursdays. Thank you for joining me for this real life conversation. I'll see you next week for another heart-centered, hormone-friendly talk about weight loss after 40. Until next time, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.